'Cause at 5 o'clock they take me to the gallows pole. The sands of time for me are running low.
What up guys, Alex here, GuitarForce.com. So in today's video we're going to take a look at the song called Hallowed Be Thy Name by Iron Maiden. And this was kindly requested and supported by Otto, so huge thanks goes out to him for the support. In this video we're going to take a look at the rhythm guitar parts only. The lesson on the solos is going to be on a separate video and is going to be available on my Patreon page and also at GuitarForce.com, as well as tabs and the backing track. So if you're interested, check it out. I'm also going to post the link to the cover playthrough of the entire song, which is going to be on my other channel, but you can find the link in the description box down below as well. For the sound, as usual, I was using the VST plugin Guitar Rig. I'm going to show you the picture of the preset right now, and we're going to be in standard tuning. So while you're checking out the picture of the preset, I'm going to play you my low E string so you can tune up and play along with this lesson. Alright, so as always we're going to break up this song into parts. We're going to start off with the intro part, and in this part we'll play on a clean guitar, and also we have a repetitive figure going on. So first I'm going to play through that and we're going to break it down. So it goes like this. Alright, so what we have here, it's kind of like a two-part figure. So we're going to be playing on the A and the B strings, just these two notes. So essentially what we're playing a compound third interval. So we have a root note, and then we'll play the third of the chord, which is an octave higher. So we have, in this instance, we have the G major. But like I said, we are just playing two notes here, the root and the third. And then we move throughout the chord progression. So we have G major, then we have the next chord, which is F sharp, but it's a minor. So we have 9 fret on the A and 10 fret on the B string. So we have. So these are two shapes, major and minor. Then we go down to the E, and it's again E minor. Then we have D, which is on the 5th fret here, D major. And we have a little slide up to the E minor, back to the D. And then we have C major. And the first part of this figure, we go back to the D again. Second time we play exactly the same notes, but instead of going to D, when we get to C, we go down to the B. Alright, and that's pretty much the difference between the first part and the second part. And this figure we play throughout the entire intro of the song. Just playing the first part, second part, first part, second part, and so on. So that's pretty much the whole thing for the intro. Now, because there are two or even sometimes three guitars, I mean, you could play, or maybe they played it, you know, just on one string, one guitar, and the second guitar is just playing on the other string. But if you want to play it on one guitar, this is how you do it. You go through the chords, the shapes like that. Alright, so I'm gonna play one more time, the whole thing slowly. It's gonna go like this. Alright, so now we move on to the second part of the intro, and so now we're playing on the overdriven guitars. Again, keep in mind there are two guitars going on, at some point even three guitars. So we're gonna break it up into guitar number one, guitar number two, and we have again kind of repetitive figures. So the first guitar is playing this. Alright, so here on the G string we have 14th fret, bend it up, bring it down, pull off to 12, then we have a quick hammer on, pull off 11, 12, 11, then we have 14 on D, back to the G string, 11th fret. That's first part of the phrase, and then second part again we have the same thing, but now the last note is going to be on the 13th fret on the D string. And that's pretty much it. So again, the figure consisting just of these two alternate endings. One more time, slowly. Alright, so that was guitar number one. Guitar number two is harmonizing the whole thing, and it plays exact same figure rhythmically, but on a different string and obviously different notes. So it goes like this. So now everything moves up to the B string, and we play the bend release on the B string, 13th fret. Then we go down to the 12th fret, then we have a hammer on, pull off 10, 12, 10. And then first ending is going to be 12 on G, back to 10th fret on the B string. And the second time, so 12, 11 on the G string. And that's the harmonization part of the second guitar. Alright, so after that we go into the next riff, which is being played before the first verse. So again, I'm going to play it through, then we're going to break it down. So it goes like this. Alright, so here again we have sort of like a two-part riff going on. So the first part, we start off on the 7th fret on the A string, then we go to the D string, and we have sort of a legato phrase here. So it's 4, 5, 4, then 5, 7, back to 5, back to 4. Then we play 4th fret on the G string, then we have two pull-offs on the D string, 5, 4, 5, 4, back to the 7th fret on the A string. That's the first part. Then we go into the second part of the riff. We have, so we stay on the last note, which is on the A string 7th fret from the previous bar, from the first part. And when we get into the next bar, we start playing these two notes. So we have a 16th note tied to the previous bar. So we don't start on the on beat, but a 16th note sort of tied note, and then we start again. And also we have, instead of going to the 7th fret here, we just have two hammer-ons, 4, 5, 4, 5 on the D string. and then the rest is the same. So that's the only difference between the two riffs. So one more time, the whole thing slowly is gonna go like this. Alright, so we play this riff for 3 times, and on the 4th time, the very last time when we play this riff, instead of playing after the pull-offs, the 7th fret here on the A, we go into the next part, into the verse. So instead of playing the 7th fret on the A, we play the chord which is the B, and then we go to the E, power chord. So let me play the last part of this riff going into the verse, and I'm gonna play it through, then we're gonna break it down. So it goes like this. Alright, so like I said before, we finish off with the 2 chords B to E, power chords, then we move down to the 3rd position and we play G to C, again power chords, then we have A to D, so at the 5th position, and then we're back again to the 7th position and we play these chords, so B, E, back to B, C, and then we have and then we have the single note round. So it's 7, 8, 7 on the low E string, and then we go to the A string, we play 10, 9, 7, 10 on low E, and then we go into back to the chord, to the E power chord. So, and then we repeat the whole figure again. So this ending goes like that. Alternatively, if you want to, you can play this part in a different place, so like that. So you go from this position when you play B to E, and then you go down to B here, to C, and then we have so 2, 3, 2 on the A string, and then 5, 4, 2 on the D, back to the A string 5th fret, or you can play an open D string like that. You can use that variation, but for me personally, I like to stay in this position right here because it's easier. And it's easier to reach for the E chord here. But you have an alternative how you can play this part. So this part we played twice, so after that again, break, 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 and then again we have. Now the 3rd time we go into this chord progression and we start to play the full chords. In other words, we have so we have the first chord is E, then we have the C, D, and then back to E again. Now the rhythmical figure here is, we have sort of like a gallop figure, but not entirely. I mean, they play it like in the beginning, the first couple of beats of the bar, and then go into sort of 16th notes, lightly palm muting the chord, but also opening up. So if you just follow the structure of the song, changing the chords at the right time, you're gonna be fine. So you can use the gallop and straight 16th notes, doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna play through one more time this part, and then we'll move on to the next part. So it goes like this. Alright, so the next part is based on a single note melody, and it goes like this. Alright, so what we have here is just 4 notes. On the A string we have 7, 9, 10, and 9th fret on the D string. And we just play this melody using these 4 notes. So it's pretty simple. I'm just gonna play it through really slow so you can hear how it goes, and then you can repeat the same thing. So we have. Now, because there are 2 guitars, there is a second guitar which is playing after this another additional note, which is the C note, here on the 8th fret on the low E string. But it's playing instead of the E note on the 7th fret, just playing here. But follows the same rhythm and the same notes afterwards. So it's just a difference in one note. The first guitar is just playing that, playing 7th fret, playing the E note. Alright, so after that, after we've played this riff for 4 times, I believe, then we have another guitar which is harmonizing the whole riff in different notes, obviously. So I'm gonna play it through and we're gonna break it down. So it goes like this. So the notes now are going to be starting off on the G note, 10th fret on the A string, then we go to D string 7, 9, and then we have 7th fret on the G. So we play this first time, second time we play. So now we go to the 9th fret here on the G string instead of 7th fret. That's the only difference, and we're back again to the riff. So okay, so just like the second guitar using the C note here, we're using the E note, but in a different place, at different time. But that's the difference with this part on the third guitar, or second guitar, if you will, the harmonization part. So I'm gonna play it through one more time. Just this part, the harmonized guitar, is gonna go like this. Alright, after this interlude we go back to playing the second verse, and again it's based on these 3 chords, the E, the C, the D, back to E, and we have a slight different ending here. So I'm gonna play it through and then we're gonna break it down. So it goes like this. Alright, so as you can see, it's pretty much the same as in the first verse. And by the way, also, I forgot to mention, but when you play this part using the E chord, you can also use the low E string open to give it more kind of thicker sound. Also lightly palm muted. So back to the figure, we play E, C, D, back to E, and in the end we have just this little phrase, 3 notes, so 10, 9, 7th fret on the A string, and we play it twice. Okay, that's the only additional part here in this figure. So one more time. And then we're back to the interlude, so we're playing again the same thing. So we play this figure for a few times, I think 4 times, and then we go into the first break, and again the 2 guitars are playing different things. So one guitar is playing chords. So we start off with the E power chord, then we play again a quick B to E, and you let it ring out the chords. Then we have G to C, back to B to E. So that's the rhythm guitar, and the second guitar is playing this part. So just these 4 notes, 9th fret on G, 12th on B, and then 11, 12 on the G string. And they go in sort of like in circle. So we play this figure until the end of this section. Alright, so after this part we have sort of like a transitional riff which goes like this. Alright, so what we have here is like a part of the riff in the intro that we played, but it's slightly different, so it goes. Okay, 7th fret on the A string, then we have 2 hammer-ons, 4, 5, 4, 5 on the D string, 4th fret on the G, and then we have 2 pull-offs, 5, 4, 5, 4 on the D, then we have 7, 5 on the A string, and then we have 2 chords, C to D, and that's it. So we play this riff for 4 times, and then we go into the next section. Alright, so in the next section we have a change in tempo. We go into a much faster part. So the riff, first I'm going to play it through, then we're going to break it down. So it goes like this. Okay, so the whole riff is based on these 2 chords. So we have the E chord, and now the rhythmical figure here is very loose. There are some palm mutes and some open strings, open chord. So it's really hard to explain how to play. The best way is, of course, to listen and to try to mimic. But basically what we have is just we're staying on the E power chord for 3 bars. And then we have this transitioning part. So it's just pull-offs, 5, 4 on the D, go into the 5th fret on the A string, and then we have pull-off 3rd fret to the 2nd, to the 3rd fret on the low E. like that. You can play, instead of the 5th fret here on the A string, you can play open D, but I just find it personally a little bit easier to play on the A string, and it prepares me for the next part, for the next pull off, so I use that like that. So that's the first part. So we play on E chord, and then we practically do the same thing but playing on the D chord. Alright, for 3 bars, and then again we have the same transition in part. And we are just playing between these 2 chords, each of the chords for 3 bars, and the transition in part, just like I showed you. So we play this riff, I think for 4 times the first time, and then the song goes into the solo, and the solo is based entirely on this riff. So the rhythm guitar is playing this riff, E, D, E and D. Both guitars are playing the solo over these 2 chords. Alright, so now we're gonna skip the solos for now. We're gonna break down the rhythm guitar entirely, and then we'll cover both of the solos after the rhythm guitar. So I just want to mention that coming out of the solo, we play basically the same riff, although we're just staying on E chord, and what I mean is the rhythmical figure is pretty much the same. So we have, but we play these, we stay on the chord for 4 bars, and then in the end we have. So these notes, 7th fret on the A string, go into the 5th fret on the D. Then we're back to the 7th fret on the A, 5th fret on the A string. So we just alternate between D and A string on the 5th fret. And then in the end we have 7th fret on the A and low E string open, and then we go into the riff again. So I'm gonna play through. It's a little bit tricky. You have to really listen to the riff because we have some on and off beats playing these notes. So I'm just gonna play it through really slow. And again, when you stay on the E chord, it's a lot of palm mutes and like muted strings, so it's not very clearly what you can hear what he's playing in regards of rhythm. But we're basically staying for 4 bars on this chord, and in the end of the 4th bar, on the 4th beat, we have this figure, and we're back to the chord. So let me play it through slowly, and goes like this. And by the way, when we play this riff for the 4th time, we don't have this transition in part. We just stay on the chord until the end of the riff. And then afterwards, after that part, we go into playing the interlude again. So now the first guitar is playing just like we did in the beginning. However, there is a second guitar which is playing a harmonization of this part, and it's playing on a different notes, obviously. So I'm just gonna play it through, and then we're gonna break it down. So it goes like this. So we have here, so basically we go from the first guitar is playing on the 7th fret, and now we take everything up a minor third. The same notes as far as the position, but we move everything up a minor third. So now we start from the 10th fret, and on the D string we have 7, 9, 10. The rhythm and everything else is exactly the same. So we play this part for 4 times, I believe, and then we continue playing the riff again, but halfway through we add the part which is in the first part of the verse, which is this part. So we integrate this part into playing this riff. So slowly it's gonna go something like this. Alright, so after this section we go back to playing the riff that we played during the second verse, I believe, which is again based on just these 3 chords, the E, C, D, and back to E. And the rhythm again is very loose. They're using some of the muted strings. So yeah, I'm just gonna play it through, and it goes like this. By the way, these 3 notes, they're played on the bass, and if you want to, you can add them, you can play them on the guitar as well, and maybe one guitar is playing it like that, the second guitar is just playing the chords, so it's totally up to you. You have an alternative to play these 3 notes, or if you don't want to, you don't have to play it. Alright, so we play this riff like that, and then we come to an end. So for the end also we've played this before, so the first guitar is playing. This part, the second guitar is playing the power chords. And again, they are the same as we did before, so it starts off with the E. Then we go to A to D, then we go to G to C, back to A, and then the last we're gonna have B to E, and we add the tremolo pick in here. Let it ring out, and then in the end we have. So just playing this rhythmical figure, 16th notes on the E chord, little rest, and then again 16th notes. On the 4th we slide out. Like that. Alright guys, so that was it for this part. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Also comment, share, subscribe if you're new to my channel. Don't forget to visit GuitarForce.com for more guitar lessons. In the meantime, I'll see you again. Take it easy, and as always, let the force be with you.